Hi, thanks for joining us. I'm Diane. This is Craig. And this is our pirate pup, Bonnie. And together we are sailing out of sight.
She never pays attention to what's going on around her.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Why?
You never know when the camera's on.
I heard it beep beep, I didn't know what it was.
It's a rainy day in Savannah, but things are not all bad because the boat splashed, and we're gonna head up there now and start getting it ready for
Moving back on.
to move back on. Yep, we got to get the electrical running, check everything out, and do some, I guess, some cleaning probably, and then we'll start loading up and spend the weekend moving out of this wonderful rental that we've had for the last 6 weeks. We're back at the yard, and the boat is in the water.
Hey!
Now we get to start working. Let's do it to it. So we're going to show Diane the inside repairs for the first time. I think they did a pretty good job of cleaning up in here.
Yes, they did.
And this is where they made all the repairs. This was all cut out right here, and then refiberglassed in. And then these stringers here were all refiberglassed in. Basically this whole bottom here was refiberglassed. So the first thing we've got to do is screw this bed top back down, and then reinstall the batteries that go behind the headboard, and then we'll be able to get our electrical system all going back well again.
Where's that water coming from?
Well, the great disappointment continues. So the problem is we've got leaking from under that tab right there. Right here. Still got leaking. What's crazy about all this is, I mean, we saw the fiberglass work from the outside and it looked great. And nobody saw any other cracks. I mean, it's just beyond me where that might be, but it's got to be something on the outside for water to come through. I tasted the water and I can't tell if it's salt water or not. And I don't know how it could be fresh water because we've got no other, there's no other place above it, uphill from that where that's coming out, which makes you think it's got to be almost straight under it and through the out. But why could you not see a crack or a hole or damage on the outside of the boat?
I'm just at a loss right now.
Well, we went home last night and did some thinking, some rum drinking and thinking. And what we decided is that, there's still a leak somewhere, but we don't know where it's at. And we're confident structurally everything's been fixed. So the integrity of the hull is fine. The rudder's fixed, everything's fixed. So rather than spend another $3,000 plus waiting to haul out and look at it again, we've decided just to get back on the boat and continue on. We're planning on hauling out again in Washington, North Carolina. So we're going to continue on with.
So now we got to clean up and put everything back together. We got 2 days before we have to be out of the Airbnb.
Just to be clear, when we got pulled off by Towboat US and the damage happened, that part's fixed. So as you can see from the videos and pictures, the skeg's been repaired, the rudder's been repaired, everything structurally, mechanically is fine. We just got a mystery place where water's coming from somewhere,
And it's just a little bit. It's,
it's
maybe a cup full in 24 hours or something.
it's very small.
It's insignificant, but you still got to figure out where it's coming from.
Yeah, we have just as good a chance of finding and fixing that as these guys do. We got to do a bottom job anyway this winter.
So that'll give us time to really give a real good look at the bottom.
Yeah, fix it and save a lot of money in the process. So that's what we're gonna do. Well, today is moving day.
Okay, I'll stop what I'm doing and go help you.
Now, sometimes I'm referred to as the pack mule because I like to carry everything I possibly can in one trip. But the problem is, today somebody's got me locked out of the car.
After 6 weeks of a stinky Airbnb, VRBO, finally get to go back to the boat where the smell of a boat smells sweet.
I would rate it a 7 out of 10. It could have been worse.
Could have been worse. It could always be worse.
It could always be worse.
Now, don't get us wrong. We were very pleased to be in this nicely remodeled Airbnb and have a roof over our head during the boat repair. The problem was there was a urine smell that would waft through anytime the air conditioner was on, and it wasn't pet odor. So we don't know where the odor was coming from.
It's amazing how we moved off the boat temporarily. I know it was 6 weeks, but it's still just temporary. And then how much of a process it turns into to move back onto the boat. It's like you never lived here.
It's like moving on for the first time?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
It's almost as bad.
Yeah. It's not as bad as it looks, but it's pretty bad.
So, I don't know if you can see me or not, or how good you can, but today's tide was supposed to be a 10-foot tide change. These docks here are normally 5 to 6 foot below that, which is the haul out ramp where they haul boats out. I just wanted to see if we couldn't get a video on how high this tide came. And there, I think you can see it. You can't even get, we're basically on an island on these floating docks. Normally this is a steep ramp. Tonight, this whole place is pretty flooded. And I think that that's not that unusual for this place. And when the tide changes, they tell us it rises and drops at more than a foot per hour, which is one of the reasons we got stuck on the mud so quickly and got the rudder damage that we got. Looks like the tide's still coming in, but that's the walkway to get to dry land. This stuff looks like it could break. It's kind of a crazy situation.
We are off. We just left Hinkley Yacht Harbor Basin. Hinkley Yacht something.
Hinkley Yacht Services?
Hinkley Yacht Services, okay. And that's in Thunderbolt, which is basically Savannah. We've spent more time there than what we thought we would.
We were in Thunderbolt, or Hinkley's, for, I guess, right at 8 weeks.
Yep. A 4-week project turned into 8 weeks, so there you go. It's boat work. Anyway, we are headed up the ICW, fixing to come to our first bridge, a 65-foot fixed bridge. And we're headed to Beaufort, North Carolina, or South Carolina. One of those Carolinas.
Yeah, Beaufort.
Yep.
South Carolina.
There you go. So anyway, it's a beautiful morning. It was a beautiful sunrise, didn't catch it. A little bit of mist coming up off of the water. But hopefully we'll catch one for you.
During our trips down the ICW, we have come upon several of these bascule or hinged bridges that are being demolished. And what we found out was these older bridges are now being replaced with the higher fixed bridge that you can see there overhead.
Getting ready to go through one of the little sections that I've been most concerned about. It seems like it's one of the shallower spots in this section of the ICW. But hopefully this track and I can't remember the name of the guy's track that we downloaded and following.
Hi, I'm Bob.
Bob's tracks. Anyway, hopefully they're good. So far they've proven to be a good thing, so we're gonna stick with them. And this is one of the shallowest that I've noticed on the charts. And his tracks deviate a little bit from what the charts show. So far it's been very helpful. We'll see how this goes. Now I gotta get way off to the starboard, which I wouldn't do on my own without this track. By nature, we try to stay in the center of the channel, but through this section, that could be a big mistake. So we'll see how it goes.
Craig said we're still at 16 feet, but the chart shows no depth.
And I don't know why that red marker's there.
Hopefully Bob knows what he's talking about.
See where it's taking me? This is not where I would go.
Yeah.
Well, we're in 21 feet of water.
So somehow Bob knows what he's talking about.
That felt a little dicey to me right there, going that close to shore. It's not something you'd want to do. But through that section, we were always in at least 20 foot of water. Right now, we're in 14, 15 foot of water. But I think we're getting ready to get back into some deeper water. That right there makes Bob's charts very valuable to me anyway.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
So who is Bob? Bob is the owner of a Beneteau 423 with a shoal keel draft of 4 foot 9 inches and a mast of 55 feet. Each year, Bob and his wife Ann travel the ICW from New York to Key West. And as they go, they are charting their path and the depths that they find. They then share it. You can download it onto your own chart plotter and follow his path.
Are we having fun yet?
It's heating up.
It is. We're finally getting a little bit of wind through the windshield. We got some biting flies. Man, goodness. That fly hurts. Whew. Anyway, we got some biting flies. We got some extreme heat. But we're moving. So, that's the best we can ask for. On to Beaufort.
We're closer than I thought we were.
Like, what, 3 hours?
Well, I don't know what that is. But we get across the sound, and then we turn up into
Some river.
the Beaufort River.
There you go.
So yeah, it's closer than I thought we were going to be. That's a good deal.
Yes, it is.
So maybe 3 hours?
Yep, maybe so. That'd be nice.
I'm guessing we should be there by 4 o'clock anyway.
Okay. Right, yeah, between 3 and 4 hours. Okay, sounds good. Bonnie's ready.
She does not know what she's ready for.
So we made it to Beaufort, South Carolina. Uneventful day other than it is hot. Temperature is 95 degrees with a feels like temperature or heat index of 111, and it is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Heat warning's out until after 8 tonight, so we're going to sit tight on the boat, not venture out because that's just too hot for us. I'm a little dewy. But it's a nice little place. We're at a Safe Harbor Marina, and we're sitting on a mooring ball. So
Beaufort.
in Beaufort, it's Beaufort. Looks like Beaufort, but it's Beaufort is how they pronounce it. So anyway, we're just gonna sit here and do nothing.
Having the boat out of the water for repairs for 2 months, it seems like every time you pull a boat out or let it sit and don't use it, things don't work right. So this was a pretty good shakedown sail, if you will, although we motored. But so far, everything's working right. The autopilot, the steering's handling well. The steering cables, I checked those. They were put back on correctly. But I guess at this point, no complaints on the repair work at all that they did at Hinkley, other than time, but that's just an impatient boat owner.
Good morning from Beaufort, South Carolina. Today we're going to carry on north to Charleston. We're going to go to Charleston, North Carolina.
58 miles to Charleston, but we don't think we want to actually anchor in the Charleston River. It's a busy seaport. So we're probably going to look for a good anchorage just short of Charleston. I think that'll give us a better overnight stay.
Sounds good to me.
Well, we've contacted the bridge. They know we're coming. They're standing by for a 9 o'clock opening.
We're fixing to go through the Ashy Poo Cut. We're following Bob's track, so hopefully everything will work out nicely. But everything we read says that there's a current that can jack with you and who knows what. So we're going to take it slow, or I should say Craig is going to take it slow and watch our depth meter.
So we've got a lot of current pushing perpendicular to this cut entrance. So I think what we need to do is go upstream so that the current can push us down, because the approach is not just straight in, it's kind of at an angle. What we don't want to do is slip slide. What we don't want to do is slip slide into the shoals up here. So we'll see how that strategy works. I can slow down once I get out of this curve.
Well, we've made it in. The current has slowed down. So, as long as it doesn't get shallow, we'll be doing good.
We made it in, now we just need to make it out.
Yeah. We're going to keep moving forward. We'll let you know when we make it out. We're wondering how reliable these markers are. That one seems to be on the ground.
I think we made it. We are coming out of the cut now, and we're back in 21 foot of water. So,
Thank you, Bob 423.
thank you, Bob. I cannot imagine doing this without some kind of extra help, because the Navionics charts won't get you through some of this stuff. It might, but you might also just be lucky.
Well, if the tide was a little bit higher and you're depending on markers, that green one.
Yeah. What does it mean when the channel markers are on dry land?
Yeah, and that was the exit marker.
Let's go!
Are we back to bicycle speed?
Yeah.
Okay, good deal. We're headed through the Fenwick Cut now. So far, this, I believe, looks to be the shallowest cut, but it's also the shortest cut.
Still 16 feet. 13. 12. 11. 10, 13, 14. That's good. That's the way we want to be going.
Yeah. We're getting shallower. You can see it's real shallow by that red marker. The floating red marker.
Look how that tide line is
Yeah.
rippling down. We're in 7 foot of water.
7 foot. Eee. Going over the tide line.
Back in 14 foot. But the current's making me slide into the shallows. We are out.
Yay!
We're out of the cut.
We're out of the cut.
Out of the
Yay!
inlet cut.
That was probably the sketchiest one, according to Navionics.
Current bob tracks are a requirement for us on the ICW. We will not go without them.
Bob is now a permanent passenger on our boat.
1 hour later.
Okay, we're getting ready to go through Watts Cut. And the bad part is we're at dead low tide. But Bob's tracks is supposed to be good even at low tide. So this, I stand corrected. Of all the things we've done, this is probably the most sketchy. We'll see how it goes. We're leaving 25 foot of water. We're at 16 foot, but it doesn't shallow out. No. Well, then, if we drown, I want to drown, but so
Yeah. We're
we're
still,
in the 8s. We're in the 7s.
now we're in the 6s. Slowing down more. We're at 5.3, which is what we draft, so.
Bob!
Okay, I've seen some 4/8s. We're at 5 foot now, so technically we should. And I felt a little bit of bottom, so we got down to like 4/8, which technically, and I felt us bumping a little bit. So we're floating around 5.1, 5.2 right now, but we're just kind of floating. So we're on Bob's track. We're at 5.2. We saw 4/8s, 4/9s, but we're still moving forward, and we haven't really. I felt it kind of like move a little bit, like maybe it was touching the bottom, but all we can do is just, we can either stop and set and wait for the tide, or we can just kind of keep floating. And really the current's kind of pushing me. So I know it's an incoming tide. So we'll just keep going until we stop.
There you go.
Yes, I don't know what else to do.
There you go. Can't turn around. Too narrow.
Nope, can't turn around. We're still on Bob's track. We haven't got stuff yet.
Now we have dredging barges or something in front of us. Right now we can't tell if they're in the middle of the channel or if we can get around them.
According to the AIS and the chart plotter, they're off to the starboard to our starboard of this, where we need to pass. Could be interesting again.
It could be.
You getting tired of interesting yet?
I'm real tired of interesting. We're back in 9 foot of water. Now we can maybe get past these guys in 9 foot of water.
It looks like we're through Watts Cut now. That was definitely sketchy. So we went through it at low tide, and it wasn't like the tide wasn't a zero tide. It was a little bit above their 0 point. we won't ever go through that cut at low tide again, because I think it's just very fortunate that we made it without grounding. And of course, there wouldn't have been any, it's not like there's going to be any damage, but if we would have got stuck in there, we would have had to wait for the tide to come back up to lift us off. But yeah, we need a little bit of tide before we take that cut again. But otherwise, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was.
Are Bob's tracks infallible? No. The ICW is ever-changing with shoals and hazards. We still need to be vigilant to the changes, but in our experience, Bob's tracks have been invaluable, and we are hooked.
One eternity later.
What are our sailing stats?
We are going 7.02 knots. We're in 32 feet of water.
Look, Bonnie's cooled off. She's resting now.
Yes.
Well, we think we found an anchorage that'll work for tonight. If we go all the way to Charleston, we'll be getting there like after dark. So we've decided to anchor probably an hour or two short of Charleston. Take us probably an hour or two to get there, and then we'll set the hook.
So, okay. We made it someplace.
We are at New Church Anchorage. We're probably hour and a half short of Charleston. Let's say 1 to 2 hours short of Charleston. Pretty nice little anchorage. It's got a pretty shoreline behind us. Is that thunder?
I don't know. There's thunderheads that way.
I think I heard some thunder. I think I can see some
Well,
rainfall.
Bonnie hasn't heard it yet.
Yeah. Or the weather dog. But no, that's it. It's been a good day. I got nothing to say. I'm gonna finish my beer.
Yep.
Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and ring the little bell. Bottoms up! Thanks for watching.